everyone, my name is Denicia Henry and I am the host of Phenomenal Phoenix, a show that talks about influential Barbadians and other Guyanese from in Guyana and the diaspora. Today we're going to be interviewing or having a little chat with a Phenomenal Phoenix from Berbice named Shazam Somwar. Stay tuned for more. And we're back. Seated next to me is Shazam Somwar. Now this name might sound very familiar to some of you. In fact, he's very, very much well known. Now Shazam is here to tell us just how he got to where he is, and for those of you who don't know on what level we're talking about, you're gonna find out in a bit. Shazam, hello.
Hi, Nika.
How are you doing, love?
I'm doing alright. I'm actually really happy about that introduction. It made me so happy.
I'm extremely happy about that as well. Now, a lot of persons might know you from different activities because you've done so much, but let's backtrack a bit. Let's start from the beginning. Where are you from and what was your upbringing like? What led to you being the individual you are today?
Okay, so let's start from 16th of June 1996, the year that I was born. I was born into a family of mechanics to my loving parents Nazir and Raphael Trotman, and it has been from growing up. My family has always taught me to help someone is to help yourself grow, and that's something that has molded me into who I am today, and I am proud of that.
I really like that principle that your family put into you. To help someone is to help yourself grow. And that's something that I don't think a lot of persons realize, that when you give, and the more you give, the more you receive. And it's not always just about financial gain. There's just so much more to be had. And I believe that you are fortunate to be on the receiving end of a lot of goodness over the years. How did it start off for you? Give me your educational background. From where did this inspiration actually come from for you to be the individual that you are?
As I mentioned before, with my parents, my family, my grandfather had played a very important role in the aspect of teaching us values that I cherish today, even though he's gone. His legacy, his mindset to help people, to make sure everyone that comes by us, or even if he sees someone that's in need, he ensures that they're well taken care of. And that is something anyone who comes to our house, anyone who comes into contact with my family knows, that we would make sure that you leave smiling or you're happy with whatever service you get. And starting with my education, I started off at the Albion First Nursery School, where I later graduated and attended the Cropper Primary School. 6 years later, sorry, I was granted a place at the New Amsterdam Multilateral School, where I spent most of my teenage years, and it's where I started growing. I started experiencing what the life out of my house was, because traveling almost 30 minutes every day to get to school, and then spending 8 hours there with friends, teachers, it's a new environment. And my teenage life, that basically, I've learned so much, I've been through so much, there were so many ups and downs that has molded me. And given the fact that in your teenage year you experience a lot of things, it comes down to depression, that's one of the major things that affect teenagers. And I too have been there, and I've had my experiences, and I have been able to overcome them with the help of my friends, my teachers, and everyone around me.
Wow, that's a lot, and I'm glad that you touched on the fact that teenagers go through depression. In Guyana, growing up in this Caribbean society of ours that is so predominantly influenced by, having children not speak when they're not spoken to, and always having the elders play the leading role and the guiding role, and always doing whatever they say, no questions asked sometimes. You know, for a child to say that they have depression, or for a child to say that, you know, their mental health is affected by something is huge. And I know growing up right now in our society, a lot of persons do face that challenge with their own families because their families do not understand the scope of depression. Now, I'm glad that you touched on that, and you also touched on experiencing some ups and downs. Well, of course, we're going to highlight all of the ups, but we do want to touch on those down periods. What helped you to rise up from the ashes? What helped you to move up from those low points in your life?
Well, let's start off with when I mentioned in high school. There were times when I would feel down, there were times when I felt that I could not have spoken to anyone. But there were teachers, there were friends who helped me, they were willing to listen, they were willing to be there, and that has helped me gotten through my high school years. Moving on, after my high school years, I started working at the Anamai Memorial Hospital. I spent 2 years there, and it was a whole new environment, a lot of new people. It was now the working environment for me. It has been a huge change, and I have started to experience a lot more. And there I've started to see that, you know, things are different. It's no longer high school. I'm no longer in that area where I could be childish or I could take things for granted. It is now time for serious work. And for me to get out of those, get out from the down, get rise from the ashes, I have started to learn to appreciate myself, appreciate my environment. And this is with the help of people around me. And also looking back at my family for the things that they do for people, for the things my grandfather would do for people, has, again, molded me more to become who I am. And it comes to 2014 when there was a high rise of suicide in Guyana. The rate was alarming, and it was majority teenagers that were committing suicide. A friend of mine, with a few other friends, we started a project to actually try to come back to raise awareness for suicide prevention. And for me, that has been an eye-opener, because it has helped me to realize that, you know, there are a lot of things that I take for granted, and there are a lot of things that I can do better to help others, to help myself to be better.
I am so happy that you're here again, and I just want others out there to know that you will go through things in life. You will definitely face so many challenges, but like Shazam has pointed out, ensuring that you are bold, or you at least have that little bit of courage to confide in somebody, even if it's somebody who is the same age as you. Maybe they might know somebody who could actually help. But if you are going through anything in your life and you feel that there's nobody in the world that is there for you or willing to listen to you, you gotta look deeper. There is always somebody that you should be able to trust a little bit, to say, you know what, I need help. I am not at my best right now. I don't feel my best right now. And I'm very grateful that you did that. I'm very grateful that many others try to do that every day. Sadly, not everyone feels that they have that connection with people, and so we end up losing them to suicide, and we end up losing them to so many other negative coping mechanisms because nobody was around to positively engage them the way that you were. And I'm glad that you said you and your friends started an initiative, a project, right? Isn't that amazing that you can start something with your friends to help others? And that's the kind of friends you're blessed with some amazing friends.
I'm pretty sure I am.
Indeed.
And as in that, so just continuing that project, it actually made me started to try to do more. I eventually had 2 articles in the newspaper during that period because of the fact that I realized there was not a lot being done for suicide prevention awareness. My letters had received numerous feedbacks from persons that know me, persons that are customers to my family, persons that don't even know me. They reached out and they recommended me. That made me felt happy because I knew I was making an impact. I was making a difference. Yeah.
And what a difference actually that project would have made, and those commendations and compliments and just good criticism. I must say, of course, not everyone who's going to approach you will always be like, they're extremely proud of us, and people will come and say this.
That's true, because I've had a few bad criticism that's saying that I'm young, there's nothing that I can do. But at that time, I did not let that discourage me. I used that to say I could still be a voice. I could still be a voice for those persons.
And after that project, what did you tackle next, or what was next for you after high school? Where did these eye-opening opportunities lead you to next?
Even though I was still doing the project, I was still employed at the Guyana Memorial Hospital. I held 2 different positions, one for both 2 years that I was there. Even though I was still doing my suicide prevention awareness campaign, I ventured off into environmental care. I joined Berbice Shines. It was an environmental project, a byproduct of Guyana Shines, which was funded by the US Embassy. This project generally deals with environment, reduce, recycle, reuse, and I was named the project coordinator for this. With myself, my team, we have held workshops to educate persons on reduce, recycle, reuse. Also, we did numerous cleanup campaigns around Region 6. Our workshops that we did not only span for Region 6, but it spanned across Region 6 and Region 5. To date, we have made so many contacts. During this project, we have done over 10 workshops in various areas of the regions. We've also had someone from Japan that was facilitating one of our projects. It was so amazing. And due to my involvement with Berbice Shines, I later joined Global Youth Movement Guyana, where everything just happened so fast. As soon as I joined, I was asked to be the executive secretary for that organization.
Wow.
That was a huge step for me. That was when I actually started traveling to Georgetown on my own, just for meetings, because the meetings, everyone else was based in Georgetown, and these meetings were held in Georgetown. So traveling by myself to Georgetown, I felt like a big boy. I felt like I'm grown, I'm being allowed to travel on my own all the way to Georgetown, 2 hours away from home. And my experience there was a really nice one. The initiatives that GYMG did, the backpack projects for school, that's how everything for me started, on the point where I wanted to give more, I wanted to volunteer more, and yeah.
Can you say or confirm that all of this extending of help gave you a high, to want to do more? But why did you want to do more? Was it a youth thing? Was it a publicity thing? Why did you feel it was necessary for you to do what you could?
That's a very good question, because there are times when persons will tell me, oh, I'm doing this for the fame, I'm doing it for the publicity. But deep down, coming from a family that helps others, I've grown with that value. And the fact that I've gotten to help people on my own, I've gotten to do things, it started building that fire in me to keep on doing more, to keep on giving back. And it's something that I've been doing ever since, I would say since 2013. I've been there and I'm working to get things done.
So 2013, this was the year you finished high school?
Yes.
So all of these projects, Berbice, Shines, and GYMG, around how old were you when these things were going on in your life? And working at Anamaya?
Yeah, I was 17.
What?
Yes, I was 17.
Wow. I mean, I know a lot of persons when they're finished with CXC, like, you know, a lot of people are just home because they don't have anything much to do. You know, everybody's fighting on to try and get a job, or, you know, you're just home. But here you are living your best life, traveling to Georgetown by yourself. Listen, I mean, again, like, your parents are extremely down to earth and humble people, because I know of them, and just being around your family, I can really attest to what he's saying about the extension of love and gratitude that they give. So it's like, just tell me, how was that initially trying to explain to your parents from the quarantine that, you know, I got to travel down to Georgetown for a meeting? I was like, by myself. How did, you know, mommy take that? How did the parent, like, how did they, you know, say yes to allowing you to achieve this dream of yours, or did they see the potential, or like, what was it about, like, what, that leap of faith? Because not all parents are going to be like, you know, it's fine, go ahead, you know, I know you're safe, gonna come back. Not everybody. So how did, what happened?
Being honest, the yes did not come at the same time. Like, there was a lot of convincing to do, and it was the whole bigger fact that I'm trying to make something for myself, and I'm trying to, you know, do things for society, and that's what they're all for. And it was an opportunity for me to do good, and they saw that. But as I said, the yes did not come at the first time. Sometimes I would get that yes at the night before, or even the early morning. Oh yes, you can go. And I'm thankful for them for doing that, because that has opened up so much more for me. During my tenure with GYMG, the president for Rotary Club of New Amsterdam contacted me. She wanted me to join the Rotary Club of New Amsterdam. Me being so naive, still, I did not know anything about Rotaract or what Rotary International is. She groomed me. She helped me to understand the goals, the objectives of Rotaract. And I joined without hesitation. I joined, and I also became the secretary as soon as I joined for the Rotary Club of New Amsterdam. And that same year, that has led me to represent Guyana in Trinidad and Tobago for the first ever district leadership training for Rotaract, District 7030. That is the Caribbean district. This saw persons from majority of the Caribbean countries there present. And it was a weekend of training in leadership, development, self-empowerment, and also fellowship. What Rotaract is about. Fellowship, you learn, you meet each other, new cultures and everything. Mind you, going by myself at the airport, going on a plane as well, my parents were not so keen about me going alone. And they kept on saying, be careful, know what you're doing, it's a strange country, you're alone. Yes, that's the first time I've been traveling alone too. So, no, not just Guyana, in Guyana, but out of Guyana.
Yes.
And it was, as much as I listened to them, my weekend, I had a really good time in Trinidad. This was in 2014. And I've learned so much, I've met so many persons. Networking, that was when I started to learn how to network, how to build contacts. And for me, it was a bit of a challenge because I've never done it. So I had persons that were helping me, and these persons are still they're my friends today that I consider family. We, just a bunch of us from that training, we have a WhatsApp group, we call it Rotary Vibes Group. They are literally the best persons I've ever met from the Caribbean. And up to today, we share each other problems, we share solutions, we come up with solutions for each other. It's that connection that we share. And they were the persons who taught me how to do proper networking. And I'm very thankful for that. But I mean, I could even mention a few of them here because I know they will be there for me. They're still my supporters, and I'm thankful. Coming back from Trinidad after that training, it was a total different atmosphere for me in Guyana because I've been to another country. I've seen how things are. I've seen the way other people do things than how we do it in Guyana, and the way we tackle certain issues compared to how they do. I have had a life-changing experience there. Coming back, I was still working, and my dream of actually becoming a doctor, a medical doctor, which stemmed from a very young age. I've always said I want to be a doctor, and my family, full of mechanics, and I'm the only one to go that wanted to break that traditional chain. My grandfather used to always say, "Oh, this workshop is yours. Why do you want to go do medicine when you could become a mechanic?" Like, that is what I want to do. And they never discouraged me from achieving my dreams. So while working at a hospital, that had led me to increase my passion or add more flame to wanting to achieve my dream. And coming back from Trinidad, I have met so many medical students as well, and even doctors, and it was something that has led me to, I need to make a start somewhere. I need to continue, I need to, get my dreams on the ground.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break and come right back to more with Shazam Somwar. Hey everyone, so we are back. Thank you so much for tuning in to the first half, and now we're getting into the second half of our segment of getting to know Shazam Somwar, a phenomenal phoenix from Berbice. Now, Shazam, your medical journey, or as in your journey to becoming a general practitioner in Guyana, I might add, it has led to you relocating to the capital city in Guyana. Now, it's one thing to convince your parents to let you go for a meeting in Georgetown, to come back, to go to Trinidad for a weekend and come back. Right. How did you convince them, or what was it like when you got through to attend the school in Georgetown, and your family's reaction and that whole cultural shock? Because for me personally, that's like literally Guyana to New York kind of move, because you're going to a city. Regardless, any city in the world is full of action. It is busy, lots of traffic, lots of noise, lots of distractions. So, country boy, moving to GT, how did that happen?
My family has always been supporting of my dreams. They have never, as I mentioned earlier in when we mentioned that I'm from a family of mechanics. Not one day they ever tried to discourage me from becoming a doctor. They have always been, you gotta study hard, make sure you get your grades, so you can always get into study medicine. The move, when I applied in 2015 to the Green Heart Medical University, I was unsure if I would have gotten in, but I kept my hopes up. My dad actually took me to drop my application. We had a talk with the registrar there. Everything went well. A few weeks later, I got my email saying I'm accepted and I need to go in for a meeting. This meeting was with the executive director and the registrar for the school. I was there sitting nervous, trembling. Like, I got into med school. I was heads over heels. I made sure, I was well dressed for this meeting. I made sure I even rehearsed the whole script for questions they probably would have asked. Nothing I used from that. Nothing.
Terrible.
Yeah, and I got into the 5-year program at Greenheart. It started with pre-med and then into medicine.
Mm.
I'm currently in my 4th year at Greenheart Medical University, which is technically my clinical rotations. However, that is on pause right now due to COVID-19. It has been an entire year and there's no news as to when we're restarting. So I'm currently awaiting that news so I could finally become that doctor. But the move to Georgetown, it was, for me at first, it was very hard. It was like a whole new, as you mentioned, a whole new environment, a whole new atmosphere. My parents, when I got the apartment, it was like they furnished a whole new house. A whole new house. Just to
make sure that
I'm
we're comfortable and not
everything.
homesick as much as possible.
Yeah, eventually I got used to it, but I used to still go home every weekend, taking my containers for food, bringing back.
Which you still do.
I still do.
Mommy still cooks the best.
I still do, and even my clothes, it comes to Berbice to wash and go back. But at the end of it all, I put my best foot forward, because they're the one that's standing on my expenses, they're the one paying my tuition. At the end of the day, I want to make not just myself proud, but them, my parents, and my late grandfather, who's always been proud of me, has always been telling everyone his grandson is gonna be a doctor, his grandson studying medicine, even though he's supposed to become a mechanic. But in the end of it all, I've made a great effort. I've been excelling, I've been pushing, and and Georgetown has really changed me as an individual. It has made me grow into who I am today. I've learned so much, I've met so many new people. Every experience comes with something that I take back, even if it's good or bad, and it has helped me. I've formed new relationships, I've made new efforts. Even in my volunteering, in my humanitarian work, there has been so many changes for me, and good or bad, I've welcomed them all, and it's where I am today. It's what brought me to this point in my life.
And you're not at 25 yet, right?
No, I'm just 24.
Just 24. Okay, I'm just checking. We're just, we're in no rush, to get things done in life. But I'm just so extremely happy to see a fellow Berbician, a quarantine Berbician, no less, living their absolute best life and still being grounded in everything, in the limelight, in the city, in the responsibilities, like to still be so grounded and humble. It is truly a breath of fresh air. And even at Greenheart Medical School, your passion to help others also led to you being on their student body council, and not just being on the student body council, folks. You know how he's been having these fancy executive positions in past organizations. Can you guess what position he got on the council? You tell them.
I was named I was voted actually. We had an actual election, campaigning and everything. And I was actually voted the president for the Student Government Association of Greenheart Medical University.
That's my boy!
It was during 2019, 2020. Actually, no, it's 2018, 2019. But during my tenure as the president for the organization, I had, we did a lot of projects for the school. We did a blood drive, we did some fundraising activities. My last and official project for that organization was doing an actual Christmas dinner and an award ceremony for students who have excelled, for lecturers who have went over their time to help us students. It was a success, and I am grateful for my team during that time. They have been of much help.
Now, speaking of award ceremony, now leading up to this point, there are some other separate projects, but you would have been recognized by some key organizations for your efforts, no doubt, because you really have been putting in the work and you haven't been doing it for publicity, of course, but whenever you're really out there striving and you're really out there working, people take note of that. And I'm very grateful that some organizations really do ensure that they recognize young people and youths in Guyana. So you would have also gotten some accolades over the years. Now tell me about some of those accolades and what did receiving those awards feel like for you?
So just before I go into that, in 2018, this is all leading up to before I collected, these recognition and awards. I was still doing my volunteering. I was still doing my suicide prevention awareness. I had branched off into mental health advocacy. Actually, that was a bit on a rocky start, but eventually it got together, and I've been doing some work on that. I was scrolling on Facebook one day and I saw a mutual friend was at the United Nations for a Human Rights Summit. And then it sparked something in me, you know what? I can link mental health and human rights, because there are some issues that bothers people, that their rights are being, neglected, they're being violated. It tends to link to a mental health, a bad mental health for some people. So I made contact, and eventually his name was Steven Singh. He actually made me enrolled to join the organization, and because of this I've had the opportunity to visit the United Nations for the first time.
You mean another overseas trip?
Another overseas trip, yes. The United Nations headquarters in New York. I was representing my country, Guyana. For me, this was surreal. It was an amazing experience, knowing the fact that my name is there representing Guyana. My name is there, and this is not a summit that you would find ordinary people. You find ambassadors, you find respected persons from various countries all across the world. And it was amazing. Coming back, returning from that summit, I started Youth for Human Rights International Berbice Guyana chapter, where I was named the president. During that course, myself and my team, we did a lot of educational workshops in schools, where we educate persons on their human rights and how they can use it to understand whether they're being violated or not, and how they can better themselves. Prior to that, I was named. There was an award ceremony by an organization called Ignite Caribbean. They hold this award ceremony every year, recognizing Caribbean youths for the work that they do in leadership and empowerment. I was nominated. I got through with the award. So in 2019, I was named the Caribbean American Emerging Leaders 2019 honoree. This award ceremony was in Washington, D.C. Yes, I made that trip as well to officially collect my honor, my award from that organization. There I met with so many other talented people from the Caribbean, young people who deserves that award, that a day for a change. And in that same year as well, I visited the United Nations once more.
Okay, friend. Okay.
But this time it was much more it was big for me. It was huge because I've had a chance to speak at that conference. I had a chance to speak in front of ambassadors, in front of so many people from all across the world in one room. I was there representing Guyana, trembling at that podium. It was surreal. As soon as my speech was done, the organizer, Miss Shuttleworth, she hugged me and I started crying. It was a very proud moment for me, and I'm sure my family, everyone who supported me, were very proud for that. Yeah.
Okay.
So my major award was basically that 30 under 30 Emerging Leaders Award.
That's a regional award.
It's pretty much, it's like an international something.
Wow.
Because Ignite Caribbean is based in Washington, D.C. And the honorees, not all of them lived in the Caribbean.
But they have Caribbean roots and they're in different parts of the world.
Yes.
So yes, it's actually like an international.
Yeah. And when I came back to Guyana after the award ceremony and the conference, I started doing a lot more work. And also in that same year, Aspire Guyana reached out to me. Actually, I was nominated by persons. And they recognized me for my work in Guyana as well. It was, 2019 was a year.
This is my friend, y'all. This is my friend, like, you know, I know a celebrity who's been to the UN twice, I might add. I mean, wow, you've been busy.
I've been trying. I've been making sure, you know, even though I've been doing all of that, I still focus on school and what's not. And I'm pretty sure you're waiting to ask about my baby plan that's been coming.
Wow, like, I mean, wait, I have to soak all of this in, and I think persons out there gotta let this soak in as well. Like, you know, you're not even 25 and you look mentally stable enough to have survived all of these projects and med school and traveling and just like, wow. Just wow, like, have you, wow, like, y'all excuse me, but it's wow, okay? Like, when I tell you that I'm extremely proud to know people who were not known, as in, we went to the same high school, so it's like, you know, we all came through this, you know, phase in life, and to see that we all said yes to life. We made a conscious decision that, you know what, we're going to give this life thing a try, and it's going to kick our butt sometimes, but you know what, we're also going to go out there and kick butt, not literally, but you know, we said yes to life, and look at what happens when you say yes to life. Look at what happens when you help others. I don't know anybody who might be selfish that has benefited the way you have, because you have been selfless in your endeavors, and look where it has gotten you. And you're not even an old man yet. like you know, you and this is just like the tip of it, and all of this has led to you saying, you know what, it's time to pay homage to the man that really inspired me to do all of this. And so tell the world about your baby project. I know this is extremely close to your heart, and I know it's quite a thing, because this is not just your project, this is your family's project. Tell us about it.
I'd just like to comment on when you mentioned wow.
Wow.
A lot of persons may feel that, you know, saying all of this, doing all this, it came easy.
Oh.
Nothing that I've done came easy. Everything was, the hard work was put in. There were ups, there were downs. There were times when I would sit and cry that I couldn't get this done. There were times where I would feel I can't do this anymore. There were times when persons would tell me, why am I doing this? I don't have nothing to gain. But at that time, I'm like, I don't want material gains from this. My gain is the impact I make. When I would hear someone say, "Oh, you're the reason I did not cut myself," and this is actually true. I cried when someone told me I'm the reason they got into med school or they got into a program to continue their education. It warms me on the inside. It makes me feel good about myself. But behind it all, behind that wow, there has been so many challenges. Whether it's finance, whether it's getting materials, whether it's, you know, getting the right authority to get things approved so you can get things done. There are some times when you just go ahead to do things and you face the consequence after. But in the end of it, you made that impact. I made that change. So yeah, it's like all of those challenges, and there's so many, but to mention it all, this would have to be forever. Because in the light of it all, the whole getting success things, it wasn't easy. And my baby project, it has been years of planning, it has been there. I was just unsure of a name to give it. I was very unsure. And this all started from the time I began volunteering, from the time I began doing these things. It's just that I was unsure of what exactly I wanted it to be, what I want the name to be, what impact I want to make. And it all began, like everything just came back when my grandfather died in 2015. He was our rock, he was our foundation for everyone. When I started med school 2015, September. He made sure, things were done for me, and after 1 month of completing med school, exactly 1 month, I started school 2nd of September. He died exactly October 2nd. That broke me, because I have siblings, but he always, cause I would say I'm his favorite, and my sisters would tell me that I'm his favorite, my grandparents' favorite, and it was like a whole part of not just myself but my family were taken away. He was such a huge part of us. And coming down to the years, I'm like, you know what? I found a reason. I found a goal for my foundation. I found a goal for what I want to do. I'm currently waiting to launch, but let me formally say that the Shazam Somwar Memorial Foundation will be here soon. And just to say a few of the goals, we're looking to empower young people. Not just young people, we're also looking to make sure the elderly is taken care of. Not just elderly in homes, but persons that are on the street. We're looking to create a difference in the lives of young persons coming up, young persons that doesn't have the means to pay for their CXC, persons who don't have the means to actually make it to school. I want to, me and my team, with the goals of the foundation, we want to make that change, make that big, bold step to be the pioneer in Berbice that persons be like, that's a legacy. And that's the legacy my grandfather left. A legacy where you help others, you don't look back. You have it, you give it. You don't have it, you try to get it. If you can't, well, then you tried. The main thing, you tried. And it's a legacy I'm willing to take on. It's a legacy I'm currently on. And it's something that my family is going to continue doing for, I guess my children hope they can continue the legacy that I left when I go.
Okay. Folks, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back to more. We just only the moment. So go get your moment and do stay tuned with us. Alright everyone, so we're back. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Now we just had to take a moment, we had to take a break there because that was quite a heavy revelation and, you know, a really emotional moment, because it just goes to show that in the height of success, at the peak of success, you know, everything is going perfect, everything is splendid, outstanding, you know, nothing could possibly go wrong, and then something like losing the family's pillar, you know, hits you, and it just makes you question the purpose of life, the purpose of everything. And in that moment, because you're grieving, you don't see the lesson in the loss. There's always a lesson in the losses that you experience in life. And, you know, sometimes all you do need at some moments, especially the hardest moments in your life, is a word or even a hug from grandpa in this case. But, you know, he wasn't there. So for Shazam to overcome that, for you to overcome that, and, you know, your family to move forward, you know, move on with whatever you had going on, that was, I can imagine how hard that was.
It still is hard at point, at sometimes, you know, like trying to come to grip, you know, he could have been here to see all of this. He would have been the happiest person ever. To see how I've excelled, to see how far I've gone. So, yeah, this foundation is for you.
Well, I do think that he's very much aware, wherever he may be, and his spirit has lived on, and that's the important thing. Like physically, he might not be here, but you know what? His teachings have remained in all of you, and this project that is being undertaken by your family is just testament to the fact that, you know, he's a man that lived his life right, and he lived it right enough to leave a legacy that his grandchildren are fighting to carry forward. Not fighting for material things, because again, that was not what he was teaching you, that was not what his principle was about, but you are fighting to ensure that others have a fair shot in whatever form or fashion you can provide at a better life. And for me, that is truly a gift. That is, you know, money can't buy that type of love and, you know, that type of respect that you have going on there. So I definitely know that your grandfather is proud, extremely proud wherever he is. And, you know, in 2021, like, where is Shazam now? I mean, aside from launching your foundation, is there anything else that we should know? What is there, you know, are we forgetting anything? Because it seems like a lot, but I mean, I feel there's more.
You're right, yeah, there is more, but I try to, you know, keep my things that I do connected, so, you know, I don't be jumping around everywhere.
Yeah, true.
So as of today, I'm still passionate about my suicide prevention, and I'm still passionate about mental health advocacy. So I still remain committed to those two causes. In addition, I was recently certified as a human rights consultant.
Wow.
Which gives me the opportunity to possibly gain a future job at the United Nations, to gain a job, a career in places that would make policies.
Ooh.
Ooh. So that's all in keeping in connection with, because even though, you know, I'm doing mental health advocacy, and if for mental health advocacy, I want to focus mostly on men. Seeing that, you know, it's something that's not common to talk about because of the stigma that's attached to men talking about their mental health, and I want to be a voice. I want to create that platform, make that comfort zone, you know, to tell men that it's okay. It's okay to have feelings, and it's okay to, you know, share your experiences. So that's in addition with whatever is happening. I've also had grown for an interest in pageantry. I've been a part of the Miss Berbice I'm a Big Deal pageant ever since the inception in 2017, where you were Miss Congeniality.
Yes.
Yes.
Not focusing on me right now though, folks, but he was there. He was on the ground, and
yeah, and ever since I've been a part of the team, I've grown to love that area a lot too, because it's not just something the girls or whoever is in a pageant put on fancy clothes, makeup, and they just walk on the stage. No, the hard work that's behind it, their platforms that they work on, it's empowering. Every topic they choose is really empowering, and to see the hard work they put in, to see the changes that they make during their journey, it's so heartwarming. And that's one of the reasons, I stayed. Some majority of them would even come to me for advice, and I'm there to help, anyone who comes to me. Doesn't matter if you're in pageant or, whenever you need help, you come to me. If I can help you, I do. Yeah, it's been a journey, and of recent I've been named a finalist in the Mr. India Guyana 2021 pageant, and that's currently ongoing. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's a lot of things that's coming, a lot of things that I'm planning to do. So that's pretty much what I've been up to, in addition to everything else mentioned.
I'm just sitting here reflecting on all the times when, aside from all of these wonderful things that Shazam has been a part of and has done, I'm just sitting here and I'm having so many flashbacks of the times when I could have also counted on him as a friend. Really and truly, there have been times, just as you mentioned, anybody could approach you with a situation. You know that saying, a friend in need is a friend indeed? This is one individual. Throughout my life, I would have known of many people. But trust me, not because a lot of people mean that all of them are people that you can approach when you really need help. Trust me, sometimes a name comes to your mind and you just say, no, I can't ask them. They're going to judge me. Like, this is somebody you might hang out with on a regular. This is somebody that, you might seem close to, but you can't really depend on. But this one right here, no matter how busy he may be, he makes time for the people closest to him in his life. And that's just something that I take away, and I try to draw on to be as good of a friend as he is. And I hope I've been, kind of reciprocating the same. I definitely cannot repay you or your family for the amount of kindness I've been given over the years. It is truly remarkable. And this is a family who I truly respect and appreciate. So when I say that this is literally somebody who I've known before he got all of this to this point, and I can tell you from then to now, he is still humble, he is still grounded, and most of all, he is genuinely wanting and trying to make a positive change in Guyana, not for himself, but for the sake of others. And the various platforms that he has been a part of has allowed him to do just that. And I can remember, even with being a part of Miss Berbice the first year, I got into it because I had wanted to make a statement saying, you know what, girls like myself who were going through their own issues at that point in time would never think of, joining a pageant. I tell this one I want to be in a pageant. He's like, yeah, we doing it. We're doing the pageant. I'm like, how, where, when? What? He said, we'll figure it out as we go along, but we're going to do this. And I am so extremely glad that we did. And that led to so many other opportunities opening up for me as well eventually. But if there's one other thing about him, there's so many great things, by the way. He is the kind of friend that mentions your name in a room full of opportunities. Alright? He would mention your name. If he can't do something or he knows somebody, he's like, you know what, I have a friend, or I know somebody who can really help. And I am not going to wait until you die to let you know how awesome you are and how proud I am of you for ensuring that Guyana's flag flies high. And I mean, you touched the UN twice, okay? Twice. You touched the UN twice. So you've been places. You've literally been places. And what I'm also extremely grateful for is how much love you have for your country, that you've been to these places, but you came back. You came back because, going overseas, anybody can do that. Anybody could advance themselves and build a life for themselves there. But you can't do that because it will always bother you about what's happening with the people here. And I am so very grateful that you have been doing this, and I hope you continue doing this. And in your journey to becoming Mr. India Guyana, I mean, crown or not, sash title or not, you are truly somebody who really has what it takes. You have heart to make positive changes. You've been doing that and you will continue doing that. And in all your other projects going forward, I can only say, you have my support.
Thank you.
You have my support, and I do hope that the rest of Berbice, the rest of Guyana, the rest of the world can support young people like Shazam, who just simply trying to make a change. They just really want to make a change. They will make mistakes along the way, but please, as elders, as adults, please ensure that you provide the support they need. Because at the end of the day, your children, your grandchildren as well will be impacted by this change. And what he has been doing is nothing short of amazing. And your child can do it as well. You can do it as well. But again, it all comes back to giving. It all comes back to helping others, not yourself, but others. I mean, you could help yourself if you want, if that's what you're all about, then fine, you go ahead and you do that. But does that truly make you feel as if you've been doing what you need to be doing as a human being? COVID-19 has presented us with that opportunity. And Shazam, can you tell me, how has COVID-19 impacted the way NGOs or helping organizations and individuals have had to adapt to helping? I mean, no COVID, pre-COVID, everybody had schedule, we have plans, 2020, we're going to do this, 2021. Then COVID, which is only supposed to last, it's just a flu, it's going to go away in a few weeks, then a few months. We're back at a year and change and going. It's how have you been trying to adapt or would have adapted to COVID-19?
For organizations, when organizations would do projects, everybody in the organization would go out, go out as a group, get things done. But due to COVID-19, it's just like a handful of persons would go. A lot of persons, be scared because of COVID, nobody turns up. So it has been a challenge, but persons are still pushing. For me personally, it was cool. It had sent me into a state where, I felt like, when am I going to finish? I've been asking myself, when am I going to finish? It's just one challenge after the other. But during the time, the whole year I counted, I've learned to, accept myself, to give myself self-love, to, improve myself and be better. So it has impacted me in a bad and good way, but I would count the good ways, because at the end of it, I'm becoming someone better. I'm becoming someone that I like. I'm becoming someone that will make a change, that is making a change. And it comes down to where one of the quotes that I live by, be the change you want to see in the world, by the late Mahatma Gandhi. It has been something I've been telling myself from ever since to now, that, I can be a change. I can be a voice. It starts with me.
A word starts with me, starts with you. Now, as busy as your life may be, you have some amazing side talents, or you have some other things that you do on the side in your leisure time. You know, tell us what are your, you know, what are your self-care activities, or what are your hobbies? What really, you know, just centers you back whenever you're going through a really tough time?
At first, I never used to have something that I would do to, make me be relaxed. So I would just probably just listen to music or go to bed. During COVID-19, it has taught me rather that, I have hidden talents.
Yes.
I have actually started painting, and I did my researching and stuff, and there's actually something called art therapy that helps you to relax, help you to be calm. And I've started painting, I've did some pieces, I even sold a few pieces. I'm like, wow.
That's right.
And I'm really glad of the fact that, I found something that calms me, that relaxes me. And my art pieces aren't they're not perfect, but the fact that persons actually wanted it, it made me feel, I'm doing something right. I'm doing something good. And because of this, I was actually one of the panelists for the Ministry of Health Adolescents Health Unit International Youth Day Summit. I was actually one of the persons talking about art therapy, and I actually did an art piece in under 15 minutes, which I've never done, and I was surprised at how it came out.
Wow. And this was live?
This was live, yes.
Whew. So, art. Traveling.
Yeah, I love traveling.
We're big on traveling. This is my road trip buddy, by the way. We're big on traveling whenever we have a chance. Food.
I love chicken. I love chicken.
He loves chicken.
KFC.
Of course. You have to adapt some tongue ways, And spending time with good people.
Spend time with my family, yeah. I mean, my family, friends, everyone is close to me. I love spending time. Even we haven't seen each other in like weeks. When we meet up, I always ensure, we have a good time. And that's me, we meet up, we have a good time. We talk about how we've been, our plans, how is work going, how's school, and those things. And it's how you get to know, persons are doing okay, get to know that you yourself are doing okay.
I mean, we could be here for a very long time, but all good things must come to an end. And so we have to bring a curtain down on getting to know this phenomenal phoenix from Berbice, Shazam Somwar. So just before we go, your advice to youths out there, and what message do you have for the viewers?
Oh, with all being said, I've been through many obstacles to be where I am today, and I have overcome so many shadows, I've overcome so many things, being bad, good. I've learned so much during my journey from 2013 to date. And I must say I am proud of where I am, and I remain committed to my passion, my drive to be a change in the world. My advice would be continue being a voice to yourself, to others around you. Don't give up. If you feel that you're giving up, remember that you have a passion, that you have a goal in life, and that goal is whatever you want to become. Success doesn't come easy. It comes with hard work. It comes with ups and downs. But at the end of it all, once you've reached to the point where you want to be, you will be happy. So my advice would be my same quote: be the change you want to see in the world. And once you see that, that dream has come true, that you're that change, you will be very happy. And not just happy, you will be, that fire in you is gonna burn even more, because you have made your goal a success.
And last but not least, 3 words. When you think about Shazam Somwar, 3 words that come to your mind, or 3 words that you should be remembered.
3 words.
3 words. Just 3 words.
3 words. Change. Shy. Or not. Mind you, I was a very shy person, but I'm still shy, but to some level.
You're sociably introverted.
Yes, but I don't think I would use shy as one of those words. No. Adventurous and spontaneous.
Change, adventurous, and spontaneous. Shazam Somwar. That's it, folks. My name is Denicia Henry, and you've been entertained by myself and Shazam Somwar, 2 young Berbicians, just doing a thing, trying a thing out there in the life that we've been given and in the life that we share with you. We just want to remind you out there to do the best you can with what you have, and to help others, and help others. Because why not? So, thank you all so much for being with us, and until next time, bye-bye and stay safe.